All right, you want to tell Hunter really quick before we start? You should be back to tell him. Mr. Heydrich?
Yes.
We're going to add that citation case that was in the Pratt packet this morning on Valbuena, I believe it was.
Yeah, I saw that. We have him listed. It's the two separate cases for him. Valbuena Machado, Christian.
Yes, he was OR'd on the criminal case, but we're going to hear him on the citation case so he can be OR'd on that one on the record.
Okay. I was going to say I would have no objection to his own cognizance release on either.
Okay. All right, I'm going to let the gel in.
Okay. Thank you.
Good morning. We're here today for the weekend in custody arraignment calendar. Today is Sunday, January 18th. Are there any special requests regarding the order of today's proceedings or requests for continuances before we begin?
Your Honor, good morning. Hunter Heydrich for the state. I do have one note for the court. We are attempting to contact the victim in Rigoberto Martinez Rivera. The victim is Spanish speaking. We are attempting to communicate with her. If we do have her make a statement, we would request that the court allow us to use the Spanish interpreter. It is on short notice for us to try to locate somebody to speak with her this morning. And I'm not sure what we've been able to communicate with her through my investigator.
Thank you. Do you plan on her attending? As I do not see that anyone has logged in to observe, and we don't have anyone in the waiting room.
I believe my investigator has sent her the link and is trying to communicate with her on how to join. I unfortunately am the only other Spanish speaker who could assist this morning, and I had not been able to speak with her as my investigator is currently text messaging back and forth with her.
Thank you, and I appreciate that as that would be the first case that we were calling. So we'll go ahead and trail that. So Madam Interpreter, we will need your services today. We're not going to call that matter first as we're trying to get a victim to be able to appear. So we'll call that in short course though. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. And it may be, we may need to just continue that till tomorrow so that we can have effective communication with that victim and give her proper notice as to what she can say and how to join this morning.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. You said you do not need me this morning?
No, I said we are not calling your case first, as we're gonna see if the victim who is also Spanish.
Okay. I'll say thank you so much.
Outside of that, Your Honor, in that special request, I did note that there are a number of cases we are still attempting victim contact. As my investigator is actively working on making contact, I would just ask that I be able to address any Marcy's Law continuances at the time the case is called.
Absolutely. And if you have information that your investigator's still in the process, I'm happy to trail those individuals towards the end of the calendar as well.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Defense?
Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, Your Honor. I would just ask that Adina's be trailed to the end of the calendar.
Okay.
And that is my only ask today. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have Balboa again? Who? The one, the citation one? Yes. Is that a Spanish speaking one?
Yes.
Thank you. Let's go ahead. It's not showing.
Hit refresh. It's on
The number.
E17.
Okay. Thank you. We're going to head and call first Christian Valbuena Machado, and this is based off of a citation matter.
Good.
And does he require interpreter?
Yeah.
Yes, he does, Your Honor.
Thank you. I appreciate that. As it's not flagged, so we'll make sure that it's flagged in our system. Good morning, sir. And Madam Interpreter, if you're available, if you could begin interpreting for this individual, and I can give you the case number.
I'm so sorry, Your Honor.
It is case number WC00249026.
Okay, ready?
Yes, good morning.
Jill may not want to.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Good
We're here
morning.
today Based off of a warrant that had been issued, there was no release documentation that had been provided, so we were addressing this on the record.
Ok, bueno, basándose en la orden de aprehensión por el asunto de que hubiera la documentación de dejarlo en libertad, no había registro.
The defendant is present utilizing the services of a previously sworn and certified Spanish interpreter.
El diputado está presente siendo asistido por una intérprete jurídica ya que ha sido juramentada.
State, do you have any request?
Your Honor,
Fiscalía, ¿tiene
my-
alguna petición?
Your Honor, given the facts of this case, we would not object to an unrecognizance release. We would just note for the court that Mr. Valbuena Machado has been picked up on similar charges.
Dado el hecho, su señoría, no me opongo a que salga en libertad bajo palabra el señor Valbuena Mocha.
So we would ask that the court admonish Mr. Valbuena Machado that he is not to drive without proper documentation.
Vamos a pedirle a la jueza de que lo aperciba a él de que él no puede manejar sin documentación válida.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Just. Give me just one moment. I
Un
do not
momento.
see that a public defender has been appointed.
No veo que haya un abogado de oficio nombrado en este caso.
Madam Clerk, is there a PD appointment in the other matter?
I don't believe so, because I think it was similar. So, no, 'cause it's similar charges.
Thank you. At this time, I'm not going to appoint the public defender, but sir, you can file documentation requesting one.
Ok, señor, en este momento no le voy a nombrar un abogado de oficio, pero usted puede presentar los documentos pidiendo alguno.
I am granting your own recognizance release here today.
Hoy le voy a otorgar la libertad bajo palabra de honor.
You must check in with Reno Justice Court within 1 business day of release.
Usted debe reportarse con el Tribunal de Justicia de Reno un día después de que usted ya salga en libertad.
Just to make sure it's very clear for you, you cannot drive unless you have valid documentation.
Quiero que quede bien claro que usted no puede manejar a no ser que usted tenga documentación válida.
And that is due to community safety.
Your Honor, my
Eso-
apologies.
Eso es para la seguridad de la comunidad. Disculpe su señoría.
I was just notified by the jail that Mr. Valbuena Machado does have an ICE hold.
Me acaba de notificar la cárcel que el señor Valbuena tiene una orden de retención con aduanas y fronteras.
I have no other special request, though.
Y no tengo ninguna otra petición especial.
Thank you. We will go ahead and set the next hearing. And Madam Clerk, when will that be?
Do you want to just set this then for a pretrial?
Yes.
Okay.
Ok, vamos a fijar entonces la próxima audiencia y será una previa al juicio.
We can do February 3rd at 8:30.
3 de febrero a las 8:30 de la mañana.
Thank you. And State, I appreciate the additional information.
Gracias, agradezco la información adicional.
And that will be the order of the court. And so, sir, we will see you back in report on that date and time.
Esa será la orden judicial. Señor, nos vemos en esa fecha y a esa hora.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Next, we have Joseph Castleberry, followed by Tyrone Chambers. Good morning, sir. We're here today for bail hearing. Just for the record, the court has reached out to Mr. Davies again, and I just want to confirm with you is that I don't believe this is your handwriting on this documentation. Have you already hired Mr. Davies?
For these charges, no.
Okay,
But
so you
yeah,
just have Mr. Davies hired for other charges?
yeah, it was prior. Yeah,
It
Thank
looks
you. I
like it
appreciate that.
represents
That
him
is
in that
very-
other
That
My
is very different than what that documentation states. So do you wish for me to determine whether or not you qualify for the services of a public defender?
Yes.
Yeah.
So sir, approximately how much money do you make per week, assuming that you were to remain in custody?
As of right now, 0. I've lost my job.
Thank you. I do find that you qualify for the services of a public defender, so the Washoe County Public Defender's Office will be appointed to represent you. I am in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates that you scored as a 9 or a higher risk utilizing that tool. State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Yes, Your Honor, we were able to contact the victim in this case. She is seeking a no contact order. Indicated that she already has sought a temporary protection order. I apologize, Your Honor. I'm just reviewing the notes from this morning in my investigator.
Thank you.
And she did not wish to be present at the bail hearing this morning to make any statements. Your Honor, we are requesting bail in the amount of $10,000 bondable. Mr. Castleberry does have the pending case before this court that is also a domestic battery, however, with a different victim. That case is RCR 2025-132486. He's now picked up these new domestic battery charges against a separate victim, scores a 9 on the risk assessment. His criminal history includes a 2025 felony arrest for child abuse, and the domestic battery on pregnant victim and obstructing and resisting. That is the pending case. In 2023, he had multiple arrests in Florida for battery with injury and domestic battery. However, none of those cases show any disposition. His only other prior criminal history is a misdemeanor drug paraphernalia out of this court in 2019. Given the continued violence while he is on supervision, we do believe he presents an ongoing risk of further criminal activity and risk to the community. If he does post, we'd ask for the no contact order as is requested by the victim. We would request that be pursuant to statute as well. No firearms or weapons, pretrial supervisions with testing for alcohol. This was related to a drinking event as noted in the probable cause sheet. Mr. Castleberry and the victim were drinking prior to the altercation. And on that, Your Honor, I'll submit.
Thank you. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor. In speaking with Mr. Castleberry, any sort of bail would be a de facto detention as he can't afford bail. We were able to contact a reference of his, Anthony, his uncle. He can live with him. It looks like they were living at 7440 West, 4th Street. He's also been in the area 25 years, so I don't believe he's a flight risk. I think there can be some conditions fashioned to ensure safety community. One of those being the pretrial service check-ins. I don't see any nexus or testing necessary on that, but I think check-ins, also if you find it appropriate to enforce the no contact, maybe some sort of GPS monitoring or something of that sort. And with that, I'll submit, Your Honor.
Thank you. Based on the facts as presented, the Nevada pretrial risk assessment and the factors as outlined in NRS 178H.4853 and NRS 178.498, the court does find that the state has met its burden by proving by clear and convincing evidence that bail is necessary in this case in order to ensure the safety of the community. I will note that the defendant is on or was on supervision when this allegations have occurred, that also involves a crime of violence, the likelihood of conviction in this case. And so bail will be set in the amount of $5,000 bondable with no 10% cash option. If the defendant is able to post that bail amount, I will require that he be supervised by my apologies. This was filed as the gross misdemeanor. It will be $5,000 bondable with a 10% cash option. So you were to have no contact with the named victim in this case, and just for the record, that is Toribia, last name Sarabia, and her residence, and that will be pursuant to this order, so it begins immediately, as well as pursuant to NRS 178.4845, and for that no contact effort, that'll be for 120 days. You cannot contact him, stand 100 feet away from the victim in her residence, cannot contact or attempt to contact her in any way, including in person, phone, text, email, electronic means, or through social media, either directly or through an agent, that means someone working on your behalf. If you violate this court order, you could be charged with a misdemeanor, found in contempt pursuant to NRS 22.010. Have these conditions modified, have your release revoked, be remanded into custody, and or any other legal punishment. I am required that you be supervised by pretrial services, and you must check in with pretrial services within 1 business day of release. That will be the order of the court, and we will set the 72-hour hearing. And Madam Clerk, when will that be set for? That'll be January 23rd at 9:30 a.m. Thank you.
Yes,
I did not- that was not request. Mr. Heydrich, did you ask for no firearms? Hold on, sir.
I believe I asked for no weapons, Your Honor.
Thank you. I don't believe that I heard that. So I will grant that request. I do find that that is appropriate, that given the allegations, it'll be that you cannot possess any firearms or weapons. So you cannot do that while you're under pretrial conditions. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Ms. Clerk, I just would note that the interpreter just sent a note that she's unable to hear.
Yes, we're done. Okay.
I can fully hear the court though.
Thank you. Next, we have Tyrone Chambers, followed by Ramon Gomez.
Yes, Your Honor. Chambers, I was able to speak with Mr. Chambers. He did waive his appearance, but we can proceed this morning.
Thank you. Good morning. We're here today for a first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause has been found and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent the defendant. We will go ahead and waive his appearance for today's proceeding. I am going to receipt the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates that he scored as a 12 or a higher risk utilizing that tool. State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, the state is seeking bail in the amount of $40,000 bondable, pretrial supervision, and testing for controlled substances. I would note that there was drug paraphernalia found in the vehicle in which Mr. Chambers exited when he was arrested. Mr. Chambers scores high on the risk assessment at a 12, noting 2 points for prior violent crime convictions and 2 points for prior substance abuse related arrests. It looks like last year he had a felony arrest for force or assault with a deadly weapon with great bodily injury likely, as well as a felony threatened crime with intent to terrorize, and a felony possession of a controlled substance arrest out of California. That case shows no disposition. I believe it is still pending. In 2024, he had a fugitive arrest out of Las Vegas and a gross misdemeanor conviction for possession of burglary tools out of the 8th Judicial District Court. In 2023, he had a felony assault with a deadly weapon conviction, as well as a fugitive arrest. It looks like in 2021, he had a felony conviction for release violation, a 2019 misdemeanor DUI, misdemeanor reckless driving, misdemeanor under the influence, and felony vehicle theft and felony eluding. In 2018, he had a forgery lab arrest with no disposition, but he was convicted of misdemeanor possession of ID for intent to defraud. A 2016 misdemeanor drug paraphernalia, petty larceny, and felony possession of a stolen motor vehicle. Felony possession of a stolen motor vehicle in 2012, and I will only highlight his prior felonies at this point, Your Honor. Felony eluding in 2011. Felony possession of a controlled substance and felony failure to appear conviction in 2010, and a felony possession of a dangerous weapon in 2005. So given that continued history, the prior instances of similar conduct, I do believe that his prior felony convictions make him eligible for habitual criminal enhancement. And given his conduct with law enforcement, Your Honor, first attempting to provide an incorrect ID and then attempting to flee, we do believe he presents a risk of flight, non-appearance, non-compliance, and further risk of criminal activity. So we do believe a high monetary bail is appropriate with the pretrial supervision and testing.
Thank you. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor. After speaking with Mr. Chambers, it looks like he works in IT. He is self-employed. Unfortunately, we were not able to verify that information, but he's been doing that. He's also been living in Washoe County for 4 to 5 years. He did not have any numbers to call. I'm assuming that's because they were all on his phone that was taken into custody. So my ask today would be a nominal bail in the amount of $5,000 bondable, and with that, I'll submit.
Thank you. Based on the facts as presented, the Nevada pretrial risk assessment and the factors as outlined in NRS 178.4853 and NRS 178.498, the court does find that the state has met its burden by proving by clear and convincing evidence that bail is necessary in this case in order to ensure the safety of the community. Bail will be set an amount of $40,000 that will be bondable with no 10% cash option. The court does find that that is appropriate given the likelihood of conviction, the history of noncompliance, the history of similar offenses, a significant criminal history, as well as the lack of ties to this community. If the defendant is able to post that bail amount, he will be required to be supervised by pretrial services and must check in with pretrial services within 1 business day of release. I'm not imposing any of the additional conditions requested. That'll be the order of the court. And we will set the 72-hour hearing, which will be set for January 23rd at 9:30 a.m. Thank you. Ramon Gomez, followed by Irvin Hernandez Chirino.
Your Honor, I did speak with Mr. Gomez. We can waive his appearance. We can proceed.
Thank you. Good morning. We're here today for first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause has been found and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent the defendant. We will waive his appearance for today's proceeding. I am in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates that he scored as a 12 or a higher risk utilizing that tool. State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. I would just first note that we did attempt to locate the victim in this case. He shows to be unhoused with no contact information, so we are unable to contact him at this time, and a continuance would likely be unsuccessful in allowing us to contact him. So we are prepared to proceed this morning. We are asking for bail in the amount of $50,000 bondable. Pretrial supervision if Mr. Gomez does post no firearms or weapons and no contact with the named victim. Mr. Gomez, as noted, scores a 12 on the risk assessment with 2 points for prior violent crime convictions, 2 points for prior failure to appears, and an unsuccessful term of pretrial supervision in 2021. His criminal history includes a misdemeanor battery and destruction of property out of Sparks Justice Court last year, multiple failure to appear arrests, and a contempt arrest. He, in 2022, had another contempt arrest, misdemeanor convictions for resisting a pretrial violation, obstructing. He also had multiple contempt arrests and a misdemeanor false imprisonment. Looking at only prior crimes of violence before that, Your Honor, he had two misdemeanor domestic battery first convictions in 2021. He also, in that case, had a contempt conviction. He had a misdemeanor domestic battery second and domestic battery first conviction in 2013. He had a misdemeanor harassment in 2011 and another domestic battery arrest in 2008. He does have misdemeanor history littered throughout those going back to 2007. But Your Honor, given the facts of this case, we do believe he presents an ongoing risk of further criminal activity. We believe pretrial supervision with testing to be appropriate. In this case, he was grossly intoxicated, as noted in the probable cause sheet when this happened, and the no firearms or weapons and no contact order.
Thank you. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor. In speaking with Mr. Gomez, it seems like he works drywall for a construction company. He did give us an address of 445 Sullivan Lane, which is in Sparks, Nevada. He did not have any numbers to call. Once again, I think that's because his phone was taken into custody. He has been in Reno for 20 years. I do understand the state's concern, but my ask today would be a $5,000 bondable bail, and with that, I'll submit.
Thank you. Give me just one moment. State, where do you have the information that he was grossly intoxicated?
In the probable cause sheet, it looks like law enforcement contacted him at the McDonald's where they indicated he was grossly intoxicated. I'm happy to pull up the probable cause sheet if you'd like me to.
Yes, I just don't see where, I don't recall seeing it. I don't see when I'm glancing at it indicating that they determined he was grossly intoxicated.
Third paragraph down, after multiple commands to drop the box cutter, the suspect, later identified as Roman Gomez, was placed into handcuffs. Ramon was grossly intoxicated at the time of contact.
Thank you. So I don't recall saying any facts, so it's just that, just want to make sure that's clear. That's,
I just what the officers noted. That was their exact language in the probable cause sheet.
thank you. Thank you. Based off the facts as presented, the Nevada pretrial risk assessment and the factors as outlined in NRS 178.4853 and NRS 178.498, the court does find that the state has met its burden by proving by clear and convincing evidence that bail is necessary in this case in order to ensure the safety of the community. Bail will be set in the amount of $20,000. That will be bondable with a 10% cash option. I do find that that is appropriate given all the facts and circumstances, the history of noncompliance, the significant history of violence, and the violence alleged to be used in this offense. If the defendant is able to post that bail amount, I will require that he cannot have as of immediately, he's to have no contact with the named victim in this case of Michael Henley, and must stay 100 feet away from the victim. I am requiring that if the defendant is able to post that bail amount, to be supervised by pretrial services and cannot possess any firearms or weapons, as this is an alleged crime of violence. I'm not imposing testing at this time. I do appreciate that the information indicates and the quote is grossly intoxicated. However, without some additional information besides just that blanket statement, the court does not have sufficient information to find that there's a sufficient nexus. So with that in mind, that is the bail that will be set, and we will.
Your Honor, may I address the 10% cash option? It's my understanding that this is a Category B felony with a human victim and the use of a weapon.
Yes.
So I would request that there be no 10% cash option granted.
I will grant it in this time. I'll just note that that administrative order is no longer in effect in that essence. And so we'll just note that for the record of, given the facts and circumstances of this case with that history of violence, I do find that it's appropriate to not permit a 10% cash option.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I don't believe that I said the 72-hour hearing on the record, and it will be set for January 23rd at 9:30 p.m. And state, I don't know who all is logging in at this time.
So, Your Honor, we do now have the victim present for the Martinez Rivera case, who we were waiting for. That is the Jocelyn Villatoro. I'm not sure.
Thank you. Who's Gabby, 17 p.m.?
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
Thank you. Whoever just logged in as Gabby, 17 p.m., if you could please unmute your microphone and provide us with your name. Hello?
Can you hear me? It's Gabriela Ruiz.
Thank you. What case are you here on?
Martinez Rivera.
Thank you. Okay. We'll go ahead and call Rigoberto Martinez Rivera. And Madam Interpreter, this is the case that we do require your assistance.
I am here, Your Honor. Thank you. There I am. Thank you.
Good morning. We're here today for first appearance bail hearing.
Buenos días, estamos aquí para la primera audiencia de fijar fianza.
Probable cause has been found and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent the defendant.
Se ha encontrado motivo fundado y se ha nombrado un abogado de oficio para que lo represente.
I am in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates that the defendant scored as a 4 or a low risk utilizing that tool.
Hemos utilizado entonces la herramienta previa al juicio y ha salido con un puntaje 4 o bajo riesgo.
State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Fiscalía está lista para proceder con la audiencia de fianza.
Yes, Your Honor, we are prepared and we do have the victim present.
Sí, su señoría, estamos listos y la víctima está presente.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state is requesting bail in the amount of $20,000 bondable, pretrial supervision, no firearms or weapons, and it's my understanding that the victim is not seeking a no contact order in this case.
Sí, su señoría, la fiscalía está pidiendo una fianza de $20,000 que tenga supervisión previa al juicio, que se prohíba que porte armas y que dé una orden a petición de la víctima de no contacto.
Está muy bien.
Mr. Martinez Rivera does score that 4 on the risk assessment. And he does have some limited criminal history to include a 2011 misdemeanor DUI second and misdemeanor obstructing, as well as a 2007 misdemeanor DUI.
I'm sorry, the interpreter did not hear the last part, misdemeanor obstructing and
Misdemeanor driving under the influence from 2007.
Ok, el señor Martínez salió en puntaje de 4 en la evaluación de riesgo. Él tiene algo de antecedentes penales, un cargo de DUI por sus siglas en inglés, que es un delito menor del 2011, y obstrucción, un delito menor por conducir en estado de ebriedad o estupefacientes del 2007.
Your Honor, it's my understanding that the victim present is supportive of the defendant and is, I'll let her make any statements as to his custody status.
Ok, señora, por lo que entiendo, la víctima está apoyando al acusado, pero voy a dejar que ella haga su declaración.
And I'll submit.
Con eso lo dejo a su criterio.
Buenos días.
Good morning.
I'm so sorry. You're going to need to hold on one moment. Ma'am, the way that today's proceeding will work is the defense has an opportunity next, and then I will turn to you to see whether or not you have any statement that you wish to make.
Discúlpeme, primero tiene que hablar la defensa, tengo que darle la oportunidad a ellos de hacer su representación y luego voy a escuchar lo que usted tiene que decir.
Claro.
Of course.
State, I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. Are you not requesting a no contact order, but you are requesting bail?
Fiscalía, quiero que me aclare, ¿está usted pidiendo que no es necesario una orden de no contacto o está pidiendo fianza?
That's correct, Your Honor.
¿Eso es correcto, su señoría?
Thank you, defense.
Gracias, defensa.
Yes, Your Honor. In speaking with Mr. Martinez Rivera,
Gracias, su señoría. Hablando con el señor Martínez Rivera,
I believe we're able to get his MPRA score down lower than what it is at a 4.
creo que hemos podido bajar su evaluación de riesgo a menos de 4.
We were able to talk with a reference of his named Martin Padilla,
Pudimos hablar con una referencia de él, el señor Padilla,
who verified that he is a superintendent for drywall
si verificamos que él es un superintendente para una compañía de yeso
and that he has been here for many years.
y que él ha estado aquí por muchos años.
We're also able to verify an address
También pudimos verificar un domicilio
and a phone number.
y un número de teléfono.
I think at that point, he would only have points for his age.
Tenemos puntos por lo de su edad.
So with that, the MPRA score being a 1 or a 2,
Con eso, su evaluación de riesgo saliendo un puntaje un 2 o un 3,
I would be asking for an owner cognizance release
voy a pedir que lo deje en libertad bajo palabra de honor,
with pretrial services check-ins and any other conditions you would find appropriate.
con que se esté reportando previo al juicio y otras condiciones que sean necesarias y consideradas.
Thank you.
Gracias.
And Ms. Villatoro, now is the opportunity for you to speak if you wish.
Señora, ahora es la oportunidad de hablar, si eso es lo que usted desea.
Sí,
What I'm going to have you do first is I'm going to swear you in.
Lo primero que voy a hacer es a juramentarla.
sí,
Yes.
Please raise your right hand.
Por favor, levante su mano derecha.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you shall give today shall be subject to the penalty of perjury according to laws of the state of Nevada and shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Jura o protesta, sujetos o pena de perjurio, que la declaración que usted va a dar de acuerdo a la ley de Nevada será la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
sí.
Yes.
Thank you. Now I'm going to have you please state your name and spell your last name for the record.
Ahora voy a pedir que diga su nombre, lo deletree para que conste en acta.
Jocelyn Villatoro, Jossellyn Villatoro.
Jocelyn Villatoro. Jossellyn Villatoro.
Thank you. And now is your opportunity to be heard.
Ok, gracias. Ahora es su oportunidad para escucharla.
I'm
Sí,
not
su
sure what you
señoría.
heard from the district attorney's office.
I am so sorry, Your Honor, the interpreter heard two people talking at the same time.
Absolutely. So I'm not sure what you have been informed by the district attorney's office, but
No
today's
estoy,
proceeding is for a bail hearing.
no estoy segura de lo que le ha dicho a usted, señora, la oficina de la fiscalía, pero hoy es la diligencia de escuchar para ver si va a salir en fianza o no.
Okay.
If you have anything to add with respect to whether or not the defendant can be released on his own recognizance, or if there's any conditions that you feel is necessary to ensure your safety or the safety of your children, this is the time to provide that information.
Mire, señora, no sé si usted quiera agregar algo en cuanto a lo de si va a salir en libertad bajo palabra de honor, o si usted quiere decir que alguna otra condición sea necesaria para asegurarse de que usted y sus hijos estén a salvo. No sé si quiera agregar algo más.
Su señoría, no sé por qué el fiscal está pidiendo una orden de que no podamos hablar con él, porque a mí me llamaron y yo dije la verdad. Él llegó tranquilo a pedirme el título y yo fui la que me alteré porque yo no quería que él se fuera a México. Él tiene un viaje para mañana a México de vacaciones y yo me alteré y yo lo empecé a puchar y cosas así. Y él es más bien el que a mí me ayuda con mis hijos, es su señoría. Yo trabajo sábado.
Permítame. Your Honor, I don't know why the district attorney is asking for us not to be able to communicate. I received a phone call and I told them the truth. He came and he asked me for the title, and I am the one that lost a little bit of control, and I didn't want him to go to Mexico. He is leaving tomorrow, and I just didn't want to. I am the one that pushed him. He is the one that supports my children and myself.
Hoy no fui a trabajar, su señoría, porque él es el que cuida a los niños sábado, domingo y lunes. Él es muy buen padre. Y lo del cuchillo, su señoría, yo le había pelado una naranja a mi hijo antes de que él llegara por los niños y los subiera al carro. Y yo había dejado el cuchillo donde comemos. Entonces, en el forceo, el cuchillo se cayó al suelo. Y yo, por quererle hacer la vida imposible, porque estaba enojada con él, porque se iba a México sin nosotros, yo dije que él había agarrado el cuchillo y me lo había puesto, pero eso no pasó, su señoría. Hay fotos que yo no estoy marcada ni nada, o sea, él no lo hizo.
Permítame, I'm taking notes, Your Honor. I didn't go to work today because he is the one that takes care of the children on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. He is a good dad. The thing about the knife is I was peeling an orange for one of my children. I left the knife on a counter where we eat. The knife fell on the ground. I picked it up, and I was so upset by the fact that he was going to Mexico without me and the children that I said that he used the knife against me. I said that, and there are pictures. I don't have any marks.
Y yo quisiera que lo dejen salir porque él es el que me ayuda a pagar la renta de los niños y el que me ayuda a cuidar los niños para yo poder ir a trabajar.
And I want him to be released because he's the one that helps me pay the rent for the children and that he takes care of the children while I'm at work.
Él no es peligroso hacia el público ni nada. Él ni tan siquiera le gustan las armas ni nada de eso. Él es una persona tranquila.
He's not dangerous. He doesn't even like weapons. He is a calm person. He is not a danger to society.
Más que yo lo hice por estar enojada y por quererlo que no se fuera a su viaje, por celos.
I did it because I was angry. I didn't want him to go. I was jealous.
Thank you.
Gracias.
State, is there any questions that you have?
Fiscalía, ¿tiene más preguntas?
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
No tengo más preguntas, su señoría.
Thank you, defense.
I don't have any questions, Your Honor.
No tengo más preguntas, su señoría.
Thank you, ma'am, for being present here today.
Gracias, señora, por estar aquí presente hoy.
Okay. ¿Qué
Based
va
on
a
the
pasar?
facts that's present. Thank you. Based off the information provided, I do find that there are least restrictive means that can be imposed in order to ensure the safety of the community.
Ok, basándose en la declaración hecha y los hechos de esto, se va a imponer entonces la fianza.
I am imposing the order that the defendant cannot use or possess any firearms or weapons, as this is an alleged crime of violence.
Voy a ordenar que el imputado no puede usar ni poseer ningún tipo de armas, ya que esto es un delito violento.
A least restrictive means that needs to be imposed at this time in order to ensure the safety of the named victim. In this case, is a no contact order.
El medio menos restringido que se puede imponer para asegurarse de la seguridad de la víctima será una orden de no contacto.
So, sir, you don't have no contact with the named victim in this case.
Señor, usted no puede tener ningún tipo de contacto con la víctima de este caso.
And cannot attempt to contact the victim in any way.
No puede intentar comunicarse con la víctima de ninguna manera.
And this will last for a period of up to 30 days.
Y esto va a durar por un periodo de hasta 30 días.
And if the named victim in this case does not want that extended, then it will dissolve in 30 days.
Y si la víctima nombrada en esta causa no quiere que esto sea extendido, entonces eso se termina en 30 días.
And just for the record, that will be on February 17th.
Para que conste en acta, esto será para el 17 de febrero.
It will require, sir, that you check in with Reno Justice Court within 1 business day of release.
Señor, se requiere de que usted se tiene que reportar con el Tribunal de Justicia de Reno después de un día de que usted haya salido en libertad.
And you are required to appear for your arraignment, which will be set for February 5th at 9 a.m.
Y se va a requerir de que usted esté presente para su instrucción de cargos el día 5 de febrero a las 9 de la mañana.
Thank you.
Gracias.
And that concludes this hearing.
Eso concluye esta audiencia.
Thank you,
Thank you, Your
everyone,
Honor.
for being present. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Mr. Heydrich, are you able to indicate that the Ms. Villatoro is able to log off?
A ver,
I believe she just did, Your Honor.
¿puedo
No, she's
preguntar
still
si puedo tener contacto con los niños? ¿Si puede
Oh.
tener contacto con los niños?
Señora Villatoro? I believe now she's off.
Now she is now off. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And that concludes, as I indicated, that hearing. We'll go ahead and call next Irvin Hernandez Chirino, followed by Chance Jackson. Good morning. We're here today for a first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause has been found and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent you. I am in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates that you scored as a 7, which was overridden to a higher risk utilizing that tool. State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, the state is seeking bail in the amount of $40,000 bondable pretrial supervision, no firearms or weapons, to include any pneumatic weapons as well. If Mr. Hernandez Chirino does post, he scores that 7 on the risk assessment with 1 point for a prior crime of violence. I would also note it does look like he has other charges likely coming with assault with a deadly weapon, felon in possession of a firearm. And his most recent criminal history is a 2024 misdemeanor DUI out of Yarrington, as well as a gross misdemeanor conviction for escape, and that is out of the 3rd Judicial. In 2018, he had a felony conviction for possession of stolen property locally, a felony eluding and felony assault with a deadly weapon, different case, but same year. Another gross misdemeanor conviction for escape, that is in CR 17-1808, and another gross misdemeanor conviction for taking a vehicle without consent in another separate case, all out of 2018. Before that, in 2017, he had a misdemeanor petty larceny In 2016, he had a misdemeanor conspiracy conviction and a 2015 misdemeanor conviction for attempted theft. Your Honor, given the likelihood of conviction in this case, law enforcement did contact him when he produced the pneumatic weapon, which they did not observe prior to contacting him and which was concealed at his waist. We do believe monetary bail is appropriate, especially given the other circumstances which led to law enforcement contacting Mr. Hernandez-Chirino. So we do believe bail to be the least restrictive means with the noted conditions.
Thank you. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor. After speaking with Mr. Hernandez-Chirino, we were able to verify some information, which I believe would bring his MPRA score down. He does work at Labor Max. He does labor for them, has done so for at least the last year. We were able to talk with his friend that he lives with, Juliana. They use the same phone number, it seems. Also, an address was 1405 South Rock Boulevard. She verified that he lives there, but also can live at 2192 Ready Way in Sparks. He already has a significant hold, I believe, out of Sparks Justice Court. So any sort of other monetary bail is de facto detention. So with that, Your Honor, I would ask for either an OR release or nominal bail with any conditions that you find appropriate.
Thank you. I'll note for the record the reduction that's discussed in the Nevada pretrial risk assessment from Counsel Hupper. I'll also note that given the information provided that the defendant does have a pending case and which would also increase his score. So I'll just note that for the record, given the facts as presented, the Nevada pretrial risk assessment and the factors as outlined in NRS 178.4853 and NRS 178.498, the court does find that the state has met its burden by proving by clear and convincing evidence that bail is necessary in this case in order to ensure the safety of the community. Bail will be set in the amount of $30,000 that will be bondable with no 10% cash option based off of the allegations as contained, the prior history of violence. I'll note the prior history involving eluding and escape, and that will be the order of the court, and we will go ahead and set a requirement that if the defendant is able to post that bail amount, so you will be required to be supervised by pretrial services and must check in within 1 business day of release. I am imposing the condition that you cannot possess any firearms or weapons based off of your criminal history, as well as that this is a crime of violence. That will be the order of the court, and we will set a 72-hour hearing, which will be set for January 23rd at 9:30 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Chance Jackson, followed by Angela Cedillo.
Turner, I was able to speak with Mr. Jackson, but he is waiving his appearance today.
Thank you. We're here today for first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause has been found and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent the defendant. I am in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates that the defendant scored as a 7 or what was overridden to a higher risk utilizing that tool. State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. Given the charges in this case and the facts, we are not going to object to Mr. Jackson's own recognizance release. He does have fairly significant criminal history. However, it is just inside of 10 years, and it is all out of the state of California. So given the facts, we do believe the own recognizance release to be appropriate. We would ask that he be supervised by pretrial supervision.
Thank you. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor, we'll submit on that.
Thank you. The court will grant no recognizance release here today. I do find that their least restrictive means he will be required to be supervised by pretrial services and must check in with pretrial services within 1 business day of release. We will go ahead and set an arraignment, which will be set for February 5th at 9 a.m. Thank you. Next, we have Angela Cedillo, followed by Kyle Simmons. Good morning. We're here today for first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause has been found and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent you. I am in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates that you scored as an 8 or a moderate risk utilizing that tool. State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, the state is again not going to object to Ms. Cedillo's release. We would request pretrial supervision with testing for drugs and alcohol. We would also request that she be required to attend 3 mutual support groups per week. She does score that 8 on the risk assessment. I would also note that she had the pending case out of Carson. Outside of last year, she had no criminal history, but last year she did have a misdemeanor, 3 separate misdemeanor convictions for violating conditions of release out of Carson, as well as 2 misdemeanor contempt convictions out of Carson. I was unable to determine if those were related to any criminal charges through her criminal history, however. But given the facts of this case, we do believe there are least restrictive means, and given the amount of narcotics, we do believe that a known recognizance release to be appropriate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will submit on that, Your Honor.
Thank you. I do find that there are least restrictive means that can be imposed in order to ensure the safety of the community, so you will be given an own recognizance release here today. I will require that you be supervised by pretrial services, so you must check in with pretrial services within 1 business day of release.
Okay.
I am imposing the condition that you cannot use any controlled substances or alcohol, including marijuana, unless you have a valid prescription, and be subjected to random drug and alcohol testing. I do find that there's a sufficient nexus based off the allegations and that it is necessary to ensure the safety of the community. I'm also imposing the condition that you must complete 3 mutual support groups. So that's things like AA, NA, the non-secular versions per week until you are in substance use treatment. I do find that that is necessary in order to ensure the safety of the community. That will be the order of the court, and we will set a arraignment, which we set for February 5th at 9 a.m. So you are required to appear in Reno Justice Court on that date and time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Next, we have Kyle Simmons, followed by Pierre Velos.
Hello.
Good morning. We're here today for a first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause has been found and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent you. I am in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates that you scored as a 15 or a higher risk utilizing that tool. State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, we're seeking bail in the amount of $5,000 bondable, pretrial supervision with testing for drugs and alcohol, and a no weapons clause, as well as no contact with the Tojitos Mexican restaurant at 3090 Kitsky Lane. Your Honor, despite Mr. Simmons' high risk, or including Mr. Simmons' high risk score, which only notes no points for pending cases, he does score every possible point that is available. Last year, he had a failure to appear arrest, and then in 2024, he was convicted of felony burglary of a motor vehicle, misdemeanor breaking or tampering with a motor vehicle, as well as a drug paraphernalia in this court. He also had a misdemeanor trespassing with a failure to appear out of the Reno Municipal Court, another misdemeanor trespassing with a failure to appear out of the Reno Municipal Court, and a third trespassing with a failure to appear in the Reno Municipal Court. In 2023, he had a misdemeanor battery. In that case, out of this court. In that case, his suspended sentence was revoked. In 2021, he had a felony conviction for attempted burglary, and that was after he was discharged from diversion and his OR was revoked. He had a misdemeanor resisting in 2020, misdemeanor trespassing, misdemeanor drug paraphernalia with multiple pretrial violations, and a misdemeanor battery that year. Then in 2019, he had another drug paraphernalia and another trespassing and a failure to appear in that trespassing. So Mr. Simmons has shown that he is unlikely to comply with any conditions the court imposes, and is unlikely to appear at any future court hearings. So, Your Honor, we do believe that bail is the least restrictive means with those noted conditions. And Your Honor, for the nexus, I would note that law enforcement did indicate Mr. Simmons appeared to be intoxicated and continued to harass patrons while speaking with law enforcement as the nexus for drug and alcohol testing.
Thank you. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor. In speaking with Mr. Simmons, it seemed that what happens here is just a relapse. He had been sober for the last 4 or 5 months. He's actually in a program with Reno Behavioral Health. We were able to speak with his mother. He can live with her at 1155 Glenda Way, number 9 here in Reno. And he has been living there for the past month or 2. Before that, he was living with his father. He does also have a working phone, 775-354-4816. She said that also he's not working right now, but he is doing the outpatient program at Reno Behavioral Health, so we were able to also verify that. And it seems like there's some sort of disability application in progress right now. So with that, Your Honor, I would be asking for an owner cognizance release. I believe there is a nexus between, since the relapse and, so I think pretrial services, testing and check-ins would be appropriate. And with that, I'll submit, Your Honor.
Thank you. Based on the facts as presented, the Nevada pretrial risk assessment factors as outlined in NRS 178.4853 and NRS 178.498, the court does find that the state has met its burden by proving by clear and convincing evidence that bail is necessary in this case in order to ensure the appearance of the defendant and the safety of the community. I will note the likelihood of conviction in this case, the allegations as discussed with the threat of harm to the community, as well as the significant Nevada pretrial risk assessment score and the maximum points for failure to appear. I am going to require, and so bail will be set in the amount of $3,000 bondable with a 10% cash option. If the defendant is able to post that bail amount, you will be required to be supervised by pretrial services, and you must check in with pretrial services within 1 business day of release. I do find that there's sufficient access to require that you cannot use any controlled substances or alcohol unless you have a valid prescription, and be subjected to random drug and alcohol testing. That will be the order of the court, and we will go ahead and set a 72-hour hearing, and that will be set for January 23rd at 9:30 a.m. Thank you. Pierre Velos, followed by Terry Wynn. My apologies. Is he still present?
Yes, yeah.
Thank you. Just for the record, I don't know if I stated it, but I am including that no contact order with the Tokyo Toast Mexican restaurant, to just for the record and that address.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning. So we're here today for first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause has been found and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent you. I am in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates in this case that you scored as a 7 or moderate risk utilizing that tool. State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, the state is going to seek bail in the amount of $40,000 bondable, pretrial supervision, and a no firearms clause. Mr. Velos does have a case pending out of the Sparks Justice Court. It is a felony embezzlement. He has now picked up these new felony charges while out on bail in the other case. His only prior criminal history is the underlying felony conviction in 2016 for theft of a firearm out of Texas. But as Mr. Velos is on pretrial supervision and the allegations here indicate that he did, it's unclear whether he brandished the firearm or whether the victim just saw the handle of the gun and then Mr. Velos made threats to shoot the victim, that Mr. Goforth. So, Your Honor, given that, we do believe that Mr. Velos presents an ongoing risk of further criminal activity and risk of harm to the community. So we do believe bail in this case to be appropriate.
Thank you. I just want to make sure you've indicated the named victim in this case. If for this case that's pending before the court, I just want to make sure it's clear, but I don't see that he was arrested with respect to any of the incidences involving that individual. I just want to make sure what I have is that it's the possession of a firearm by a prohibited person and possession of a short barrel rifle. Yes,
Your Honor. So if I could provide a brief recitation of the facts.
I'm very well aware of the facts. I just, when you're indicating victim, I just want to make sure that's clear. That is the individual who is named as the neighbor in this PC sheet, as there's no named victim for the allegations, the charges that he was arrested on.
That's correct, Your Honor. There was no brandishing and no charges brought for the altercation between the neighbor, Mr. Goforth, and Mr. Velos.
Thank you. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor. And speaking with Mr. Velos, he has worked for All Pro Security as a journeyman tech. He's only been there a week. Before that, he was working. He works tech services. He was working for a couple years at a different place. We were able to call his wife, Rachel, who I believe was also in the PC sheet. He does live at 2490 East Shore Place, number H308. They've lived there for the past 8 months. She also verified that he was right in between jobs, that he's starting a new job. And he's supposed to start this new job at All Pro Security in about 2 weeks. He was at, and she also verified he was at the other place for about 2 years. He does have a working phone. The MPRA, I wasn't able, I saw it was a 7. I wasn't able to see what the points were actually for, because I believe it was maybe used for a prior, or I just didn't have that info. But my ask today would be some sort of nominal bail. I think to ensure safety to the community, there just be no firearms. He knows he can't have firearms anyways, seeing as how he is a felon. And with that, I'll submit, Your Honor.
Thank you. Based on the facts as presented in Nevada pretrial risk assessment, the factors as outlined in NRS 178.4853 and NRS 178.498, the court does find that the state has met its burden by proving by clear and convincing evidence that bail is necessary. In this case, bail will be set in the amount of $30,000. That is bondable with no 10% cash option. Based off the allegations as discussed, the likelihood of conviction, very significant threat of harm and danger to the community as outlined in the probable cause sheet, as well as with the offense itself. And I will require that if the defendant is able to pose that bail amount, he be supervised by pretrial services and must check in with pretrial services within 1 business day of release. And I am imposing the condition that he cannot possess any firearms or weapons based off of his criminal history. I do find that is necessary in order to ensure the safety of the community. I will require, and we'll go ahead and set that 72-hour hearing, and that'll be set for January 23rd at 9:30 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you.
Terry Wynn, followed by Brendan Fossil. Good morning. We're here today for a first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause has been found and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent you. I am in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates that you scored as a higher risk utilizing that tool or an 11. State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, we're seeking bail in the amount of $50,000 bondable, pretrial supervision with testing for drugs and alcohol. The basis for the controlled substances is the observation of marijuana in plain view, as well as the PBT, which indicated alcohol. If he is able to post that amount, Your Honor, we would ask for a no driving clause. He is on a revoked driver's license. And Mr. Wynn does score an 11 on the risk assessment, noting a point for prior failure to appear and 2 points for prior substance abuse related arrests. He was arrested in 2024 for a failure to appear on a misdemeanor. He had a 2020 felony arrest for violating probation. And then in 2019, he was convicted of DUI third, where he failed DUI court and was eventually sent to prison. He had a misdemeanor DUI in 2018 in Sacramento, another misdemeanor DUI with no disposition in 2017, but a DUI arrest in 2016 with no disposition, and a 2015 DUI second out of this court. History continues back to 2007 in California, but those are the DUI highlights. So, Your Honor, given that history, the likelihood of conviction in this case, and the prison mandatory sentence, we do believe that he presents a risk of flight, especially given the recent failure to appear, and noncompliance given the failure in drug court and probation violation. So we do believe there are no least restrictive means to bail outside of what the state is seeking in $50,000 with the noted conditions.
Thank you. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor. And speaking with Mr. Wynn, we were able to get some other information to get his MPRA score down a little bit. One of those being, we spoke with his wife, Betty. She was able to confirm an address of 6900 Charlins, unit number 223. They've been there for about 6 years. He has been in Reno for the past 8 years. She was also able to confirm a phone number for us. So I think that would take him from a high to maybe more of a moderate high, kind of in between there. And speaking with him, he has just finished a job, but he's supposed to start at Tesla here shortly. He wants to get to work. He understands that he can't be driving, especially under the influence. So I think there are some things that can be fashioned to ensure safety to the community. One of those being some sort of scram device. Obviously, a no driving clause without a valid license, and pretrial services testing and check-ins. And with that, I'll submit, Your Honor.
Thank you. Based on the facts as presented in the Nevada pretrial risk assessment and the factors as outlined in NRS 178.4853 and NRS 178.498, the court does find that the state has met its burden by proving by clear and convincing evidence that bail is necessary in this case in order to ensure the safety of the community. I will note the likelihood of conviction, significant threat of harm to the community based off of the allegations as discussed and with the information contained in the probable cause sheet, as well as with the compliance concerns as indicated as well. I will require that if the defendant is able to post that bail amount of $30,000 bondable with a 10% cash option, he be supervised by pretrial services. So if you're post that, you must check in with pretrial services within 1 business day of release. You will be required to not use any controlled substances or alcohol unless you have a valid prescription, be subjected to random drug and alcohol testing. You will be required to, my apologies, state to you have the information as to what the testing is at AberHealth for alcohol. The court just doesn't have the information as to whether or not this also needs to be a daily alcohol, or if the random drug and alcohol testing will be able to appropriately.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm having a little trouble hearing you.
No problem, thank you. Do you have the information from AberHealth, who's an agency who is testing the individuals who are on pretrial services, as to if this needs to be in order for daily alcohol testing, or if the random alcohol testing is of the test of nature that will actually determine whether or not the defendant is using?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I unfortunately don't have that information.
Thank you. So I don't know that I have to require daily. I just don't have that information. So I'll just note the state of it will be random unless if the state hears otherwise and needs to make a motion for the court, we can address that at that time. But it'll be for random drug and alcohol testing. And I will require that the defendant cannot drive unless he has valid documentation that is due to community safety. That will be the order of the court, and we will set a 72-hour hearing, and that will be set for January 23rd at 9:30 a.m. Thank you.
Your Honor, what was the amount again?
30,000.
$30,000.
And it did have the 10% cash option, Mr. Merritt.
Watson.
Watson.
Or I'm sorry. Sorry, Watson.
You got my first name right.
Thank you. Brendan Clausen, or Clausel, followed by Summer Ford. Good morning. We're here today for first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause has been found, and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent you. I'm in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates that you scored as an 8 or a moderate risk utilizing that tool. State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
No, Your Honor, at this time, the state will be seeking a continuance of 1 day for Marcy's Law. We've been unable to contact the victim at this time.
Thank you, defense.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Thank you. Note that we will just be outside the 48-hour time period by 20 minutes. And so I do find that there's good cause on the basis of Marcy's Law in order to grant a continuance in this case. And so we will go ahead and continue this for 1 day until tomorrow, January 19th at 9:30 a.m. Thank you. Summer Ford, followed by Garrett Gruber.
Ford refused.
Thank you. We're here today for first appearance bail hearing. Defense, are you able to proceed, or shall we continue this for tomorrow?
She was sick.
Okay, so for Ford, Your Honor, we were unable to talk with her because she was sick, so I would just ask for a 1 day continuance.
Thank you. I do find that there is good cause to grant a continuance, and so that will be continued until tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. And Madam Clerk, the information is that she is ill.
Ford.
Garrett Gruber, followed by Inez Rodriguez. Good morning. We're here today for first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause had been found, and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent the defendant. I am in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which, just for the record, indicates that you scored as a 2 or a low risk utilizing that tool. I'll note that it did not have notes for a pretrial case. However, there was some information indicating that there may have been one. State, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I would note that this was originally arrested on probable cause as a DUI first. However, in reviewing his criminal history, it does look like he suffered a misdemeanor DUI conviction in 2021. And with that risk score of a 2, Your Honor, I'm not going to object to his own recognizance release. I would ask for pretrial supervision with testing as the sole condition.
Do you have any information as to according to the pretrial assessment report, there is a no RR Reno Municipal Court warrant?
You know, I did not see any criminal charges in that, Your Honor, so I anticipated it to be traffic. I didn't have a chance this morning to pull it up in their Odyssey, but I'm happy to do that right now if you would like me to.
Reno immunity warrant at
Yeah.
$250 bail. So
Yes, Your Honor. So, in looking and talking with the jail, it's a Reno municipal court hold, and I believe it's a failure to obey court order of some sort for $250. Bondable.
Thank you.
And I am pulling it up right now, Your Honor. It looks like it is for that original 2021 DUI.
Thank you. So just to confirm, what conditions are you requesting?
Pretrial supervision with testing for controlled substances and alcohol, Your Honor.
We'll submit on that.
Okay.
Your Honor.
And it does look like that Reno Municipal Court warrant is post-sentence.
Okay. Thank you. My apologies. The main concern for this court is with respect to whether or not testing should be required. I understand and I appreciate the additional information that it is a DUI second, as that changes who supervises, because unfortunately, there's only one agency that has the testing at this time. So I am granting a no recognizance release here today. I do find that there are least restrictive means that can be imposed in order to ensure the safety of the community. I will require that the defendant be supervised at this time by pretrial services and must check in with the DAS within with pretrial services within 1 business day of release. I am imposing the condition that he be subjected to random drug and alcohol testing. I do find that there's sufficient nexus. So, sir, you cannot use any controlled substances or alcohol, including marijuana, unless you have a valid prescription, be subjected to random drug and alcohol testing.
Okay.
You will be required to conduct the DUI rant. So you must come to Reno Justice Court and have that scheduled. And if you are a low risk, according to the DUI rant, I will remove supervision and testing in its entirety. So make sure that you get that done as quickly as possible. You are ordered to do it within 30 days.
Okay.
And I am going to require, I think I said it just to make sure it's clear, of testing and supervision will be removed, and it shall be removed by pretrial services if you scored as a low risk. And we will go ahead and set that arraignment date, which will be set for February 5th at 9 a.m. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry.
Get out on this.
I'll get out on. Then I have to pay the 250.
Inez Rodriguez, followed by Samuel Rodriguez.
Good morning.
Good morning. We're here today for a first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause has been found and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent you. I am in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates that you scored as a 4 or low risk utilizing that tool. State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. We're not going to object to Mr. Rodriguez's release in this case. We'd ask that the sole condition be Reno Justice Court supervision and no contact with the pepper mill.
Thank you. Defense, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we'll submit on that, Your Honor.
Perfect, thank you. Sir, I am going to grant your release here today. You will be required to check in with Reno Justice Court within 1 business day of release. I am imposing the condition that you cannot have any contact with the pepper mill and you must stay 100 feet away from that location. We will set your next hearing, which will be set as an arraignment for February 5th at 9 a.m. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Samuel Rodriguez, followed by Raylene Schultz.
Daniel Rodriguez is submitting.
Oh. Yes, Your Honor. So, we were able to speak with Mr. Rodriguez. My understanding is this is an ad book. He did waive his appearance today, and we are just going to submit.
Thank you. We're here today for first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause has been found and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent him. I am in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates that he scored as an 11 or a higher risk utilizing that tool. State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. We're requesting additional bail in the amount of $5,000 bondable with no additional conditions. Mr. Rodriguez does have a significant criminal history and high risk score. Given the defense submission, would you like a recitation of his criminal history to support the bail amount?
No.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm okay, thank you. Thank you. Based on facts as presented in the Nevada pretrial risk assessment and the factors as outlined in NRS 178.4853 and NRS 178.498, the court does find that the state has met its burden by proving by clear and convincing evidence that bail is necessary in this case in order to ensure the safety of the community based off the likelihood of conviction, the higher Nevada pretrial risk assessment score, as well as the information contained. I am not requiring that any other conditions be imposed. And so just to make sure it's clear, it's $5,000 bondable with a 10% cash option. And we'll go ahead and set a 72-hour hearing, which will be set for January 23rd at 9:30 a.m. Thank you. Next, we have Raylene Schultz, followed by Christopher Adenas. Good morning. We're here today for a first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause has been found and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent you. I am in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates that you scored as a 5, which was overridden to a higher risk utilizing that tool. State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, we are not going to object to Ms. Schultz's release. However, in this case, given the facts, we do believe that pretrial supervision with testing for controlled substances to be appropriate, as well as requiring that Ms. Schultz attend 3 mutual support groups per week until she is in treatment. She does score a 5 on the risk assessment. Her most recent criminal history was a domestic battery arrest with no disposition from 2021. Her only other criminal history is a misdemeanor DUI conviction out of this court from 2016. However, given her admissions to using methamphetamine and the facts of this case, we do believe that she presents an ongoing risk of further criminal activity. However, that can be mitigated through supervision and testing.
Thank you. Defense?
We will submit on that, Your Honor.
Thank you. I will grant an own recognizance release here today, so you will be required to be supervised by pretrial services. So you must check in with pretrial services within 1 business day of release. You are required to not use any controlled substances or alcohol, including marijuana, unless you have a valid prescription and then it's been approved. You are required to be subjected to random drug and alcohol testing. I do find that there is a sufficient nexus based off the allegations that's contained in this case. You are also required to complete 3 mutual support group meetings per week until in substance use treatment. Just for the record, that is things like AA meetings, NA meetings, the non-secular versions, and that will be and that is due to community safety. We will go ahead and set your arraignment, and that will be set for February 5th at 9 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Christopher Adenas.
Morning.
Good morning. We're here today for first appearance bail hearing. Probable cause has been found and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent you. I am in receipt of the Nevada pretrial risk assessment, which indicates that you scored as a 5 or a higher risk utilizing that tool. State, are you ready to proceed with the bail hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. We were able to get in contact with the victim this morning, Miss Robert Laver, who goes as Candace. She is supportive of a no contact order and is concerned for her safety. So we would ask that a no contact order be issued in this case pursuant to court order and pursuant to statute. Given Mr. Adenas' criminal history, we're seeking bail in the amount of $100,000 bondable, pretrial supervision, house arrest with GPS monitoring, and the no contact order. I would note he does have that parole hold. His most recent criminal history is that felony conviction for lewdness with a child under 14 years in CR 090426. Prior to that, he had a petty larceny conviction in 2006, a misdemeanor trespassing and petty larceny in 2005. And then in 2002, he was convicted of annoying a minor out of Las Vegas. That case was reduced from lewdness with a minor. So, Your Honor, given that criminal history, the likelihood of conviction in this case, and the facts in Mr. Adenas' history, we believe bail to be the least restrictive means.
Thank you. Defense?
And my apologies, Your Honor. Given the category A felony, I would ask that no 10% cash option be granted.
Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. In speaking with Mr. Adenas, it seems his MPRA score is a 5, but it seems like his criminal history is outside that 10-year mark. As far as employment, he works at Promenade with some senior citizens. Also, his residence, 1417 East 4th Street. He does live alone. We were unable to contact anyone as he could not remember any numbers. He is also okay with the no contact order. With that, Your Honor, I'd be asking for a $10,000 bail bondable, and with that, I'll submit.
Thank you. Based on the facts as presented, the Nevada pretrial risk assessment and the factors as outlined in NRS 178.4853 and NRS 178.498. The court does find that the state has met its burden by proving by clear and convincing evidence that bail is necessary in this case in order to ensure the safety of the community. Bail will be set in the amount of $40,000 that will be bondable with no 10% cash option. I do find that that is appropriate given the given the criminal history involving similar offenses, as well as the threat and harm to the named victim in the community is outlined in the allegations contained. I am going to require, sir, that if you post that bail amount, you will be required to be supervised by pretrial services, and you must check in with pretrial services within 1 business day of release. I am imposing the condition that you're to have no contact with Robert and then Candace Lauber, and that will be pursuant to this release order, so that begins immediately, as well as pursuant to NRS 178.4845 for a period of 120 days. So you cannot contact the named victim in any way, including in person, phone, text, email, electronic means, or through social media, either directly or through an agent. That means someone working on your behalf. If you violate this court order, you can be charged with a misdemeanor found in contempt pursuant to NRS 22.010. Have these conditions modified, have your release revoked, be remanded in custody, and or any other legal punishment. I'm not going to impose the other conditions. I don't have a sufficient basis to find that those are least restrictive means that are necessary in order to ensure the safety of the community or the named victim. And we will set a 72-hour hearing, which will be set for January 23rd at 9:30 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe that is everyone. Just want to confirm.
I believe so, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, everyone. I know this was a very lengthy calendar, so I appreciate all the work that I know how to go in it to make this run smoothly. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a great day.
Take care.